Grand rising, grand afternoon, grand evening, or grand rest, wherever you are tuning in from, whenever you decide to tune in. Beloved Cosmic Familia, I have made a decision, as it has been placed on my heart, to start making the majority of these messages timeless, so that whenever you hear these messages, whenever you tune in, your mind doesn't automatically go to a specific date. Okay. So, that's where we are in terms of updates for this channel. I'm going to go ahead and say a quick prayer before we get started. Dear source of all that is, was, and will ever be, I thank you today and each and every day for all that you do and all that you do through me. I call upon you at this time to guide me in summoning the angels of the highest white light, as well as the ascended masters, through you from within, for protection, guidance, as well as clear, concise communication at this time. I place upon this space, this community, these tools, materials, and all other elements utilized for these messages, protective power. Its bearers, keepers, tools, and materials will be protected at all times. No harm shall pass through this studio, this community, and as far as the divine eye can see, due to this protective shield. Protective energy has been summoned upon all of the aforementioned. Heed my words of protection forevermore. Brother Wind and Sister Rain, cleanse our hearts from grief and pain. Brother Wind and Sister Rain, cleanse our hearts from grief and pain. Brother Wind and Sister Rain, cleanse our hearts from grief and pain. Ringing into new, new, new. So it is, so it is, so it is. All right. So, to get the juices flowing, we're going to bring in the notoriously infamous bicycle deck. For some minor details, if you're tuning in, it is because you were meant to hear these messages at this time, and they most certainly are for you. Whenever you tune in, here we go. Beginning with whatever is at the the bottom of the deck, behind the scenes. I was gonna say whatever is happening in the back of the house, but yeah. Anyways, Hospitality terms. Okay, 5 of spades. Walking away from disagreements. Behind that, we have the Ace of Clubs. The collective is going through life changes at this time, and it seems to be rubbing others the wrong way. And this includes, with the Eight of Diamonds, improving your portfolio, career changes. For some of the collective, even starting a new business. Nevertheless, improvements coming through in terms of pentacles. This can pertain to material relationships as well as spiritual. And right behind that, we have the Joker, the Fool. A transformation. Becoming more of a risk taker. Taking that leap of faith. What hit the table? We have the Jack of Spades and the Nine of Diamonds. On a mission. Oh, yes. On a mission to continue establishing security, both financially and spiritually. This is already a confirmation coming out. We'll make another full pass here. All right. And I've been guided to stop pulling from the same deck whenever I do a full pass and nothing comes out, unless I feel led to just simply look at the bottom of the deck and see what energy is lingering behind the scenes. We have the Three of Hearts. Setting your emotions aside, or otherwise putting an end to an emotional cycle going through this transformation. At the bottom, and still going on behind the scenes, we have the King of Clubs. Preparing for a leadership position. Due to the ability to understand what it means to take a step back in order to see the bigger picture, the bigger scheme of things. To put an end to that Three of Spades, misunderstandings. And right behind that, we have the Nine of Hearts, contentment, fulfillment. Putting an end to these misunderstandings by this shift in perspective, or the willingness to see through a new set of eyes, the ability to see from multiple perspectives here. Yes. Okay, I'm feeling guided to make one more full pass. The Three of Clubs, Three of Wands. Hard work paying off. And I really am feeling led to say plans are succeeding for us, although it's also been placed on my heart to share that we are being guided to do less planning, but also to not be caught up in flying by the seat of our pants at the same time. Some kind of happy in between, not planning too much, not obsessing about staging and routine. Strategy is important, especially for long-term goals. But becoming overly obsessed with the planning part can involve too many emotional cycles, and we're over here putting an end to that. Ooh, at the bottom we have the Two of Hearts. New friendships, mutual interests. When we become more illuminated, we also attract more of that. So to be light, we attract more of that. And I know I said that's the last card, but we have another two behind that too. And this one is the Two of Diamonds, and with it being in reverse, putting an end to the juggling. We as a collective are learning how to manage our time better, even. Putting an end to the juggling. Alright. Let's go into Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. We're going to go into this life change involving financial and spiritual growth with that Ace of Clubs and that Eight of Diamonds side by side. Tell us a bit more about this life change. The Spiral Dancer, but it was upside down. So this is clarification that we are putting an end to that vicious cycle of obsessing and planning with the aim of perfection is what I just heard. When we are already perfect in the eye of Source, returning to that higher self. We were once there, and we made the decision to come down to the D3 where we are now. We agreed to be here. We came from these higher realms and agreed to come here. And there were specific lessons involved that were meant for us. Fated. But then we also have free will. And we are allowed to exercise free will. So there are certain tests that, like, the repercussions are not going to be catastrophic, but other lessons where it's like we're going to go right back to the starting line if we don't put an end to certain cycles of beliefs, behaviors, ways of being. But from what I can see here, beloveds, with that shift in perception, with that shift in perception, literally, old perceptions have been turned upside down. Perceptions and perspectives are shifting, literally and figuratively. Putting an end, this is clarifying putting an end to an emotional cycle. An old played out way of doing things. Coming out of survival mode with that desert prince. Aiming to be more at eye level with our higher selves. Tell us a bit more about this life change. I'm hearing overhaul. The Shadow Queen in reverse. Conquering insecurities and overcoming manipulation. And I'm hearing right now that in this particular session, that manipulation is the sub-programming that was implanted during our times of forgetfulness. Part of our purpose, one of our many assignments, is to overcome forgetfulness. Overcome ignorance is another one. It's not easy, but it's worth it. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Overcoming insecurities and being protected from these manipulations. And what do we have? Angelic help, miraculous aid. Each of us have a beloved angel who is beside us at all times. But we have to acknowledge them. Otherwise, it's like, imagine somebody who just follows you everywhere you go, but they just stand there, like waiting for their next cue. Like, you have to cue them in. Like, yo, this is what's up. This is what we're going to do, homie. Let's go. But it's there. It's there. Extending an olive branch. Extending you a beacon of hope. And you as well are taking the opportunity to do this for others. Paying it forward. I'm feeling guided to, if possible, so long as my device is cooperative, I'm actually feeling guided to read from the guidebook specifically about these winged wise ones, because I believe there are multiple messages within this message. always allies. Always allies and never challengers. So, they are not the ones putting us to the test here. The winged wise ones represent the aid of all angels. When you enter their realm, know that your sincere prayers will be answered according to the will of the divine. So, regardless of how we are identified, they are always allies. So, they're representing the aid of all the angels, as well as sincere prayers being answered. And there's so much more to that, but I'm not feeling moved to read the entire description at this time, as the video is already going on 22 minutes long. I'm being told if you call upon them, they will answer. Surrendering to change. And the Eagle King, having the ability to see the bigger picture with this angelic help. So we have angelic help twice. Angelic help, angelic help. But it's also confirming guidance as we go through these transformations, as well as being able to see situations from multiple perspectives. The way I like to put it is that rare level of deep understanding where you can see all three sides of the coin: the heads, the tails, and the edge. When we're riding the edge, we have a higher vantage point. And how does this come about? With that Joker card, learning through experiences. Oftentimes, even being foolish through our risk taking. But then we learn to be less foolish even as we continue to take risks. You may even consider surrendering to change, a major risk. But you're optimistic with the Eagle King. Optimistic with the Eagle King. Let's reach for the secret language of animals for a bit more energy in the orbit of the collective pertaining to this life change. One more. Details on this. Major overhaul with the Ace of Clubs and Eight of Diamonds, please. Two cards. The albatross is out again. I have to say, almost every time, if not every time I reach for this deck, since I started utilizing it, the albatross has come out. Faith, endurance, journey, and hope. So now the albatross is clarifying the hope that I mentioned early on. The albatross. So what we're going to do with that being said is look up the meaning of the albatross. Totem. The albatross has many spiritual meanings. Psychological burden, often used as a metaphor for a psychological burden such as guilt or shame that feels like a curse. This is a reference to Samuel Taylor Coleridge's poem, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner. However, it's not all negative. Good fortune. Sailors have long believed that seeing an albatross. Whoa, that was some strong breath there, sis. Okay, we'll begin again. Good fortune. Sailors have long believed that seeing an albatross at sea can bring good luck. Souls of lost sailors. Many once believed that albatrosses embodied the souls of lost sailors. It can also represent resistance to symbolism. In the Rime of the Ancient Mariner, the albatross can be seen as a symbol of resistance to symbolism. Freedom and adventure. Albatrosses are known for their epic journeys, which can signify freedom and adventure, as well as commitment. The royal albatross mates for life, and both parents raise their young. Yes, flying high in the sky, representing hopes, dreams, and personal development. Our current path is leading us upward towards greater wisdom. And there goes that card trying to flip down again. So that's my sign to move on to the next. And this is the orange blossom jellyfish. Transparency, sensitivity, surrender, and illumination. Clarifying everything that I have been saying all throughout this message, which is also, these two cards are my sign that it's time to bring this particular message to a close. So there we have it. The orange blossom jellyfish. I've read on the jellyfish before in terms of totems from another deck, but not so much the orange blossom. Jellyfish. Multiple meanings as well. Good luck. A symbol of good health, fertility, eternal love, and even strong smells. Oh, goodness. Oh, orange blossom is the flower of the orange tree and the official flower of Florida. So, something about the state of Florida in the United States may mean something to you or may be relevant in these life changes. So, these orange blossoms, not exactly still speaking on the orange blossom jellyfish, but these orange blossoms are often used in wedding bouquets and other floral arrangements. The jellyfish itself is the ultimate symbol of the power of flexibility, as their softness is actually what protects them from harm. So now I'm hearing something along the lines of it is the softness of our spiritual core and our surrender to these changes, as well as this rare gift of deep understanding, the ability to see from multiple perspectives, the ability to see the bigger picture, the ability to be less foolish but still a risk taker based on experience, the ability to still be in that season of receiving, but by this I mean not just about, reaping what you sow and, receiving abundance in, finances, so to speak, but receiving angelic help, receiving that miraculous aid as it has been divinely willed for us. I see so much in terms of possibilities and opportunities. Collective. You're doing it well. You put that 5 of spades on the front line. You walked away from disagreements towards that ace of clubs and 8 of diamonds and the joker. All 3 representing a major life overall. Now all that's left to do is surrender to the change. If you made it this far, you are a rock star. I want to thank you so very much for tuning in. I certainly hope these messages find you well, beloveds. With much gratitude and appreciation, brightest blessings.